So Jake and I are going to talk about a partnership that's almost 20 years old between our group and California Highway Patrol. Just a word about TREADS. We're based at the University of California in the School of Public Health. And in addition to the physicians that I represent and the law enforcement that Jake represents, we also have other public health professionals and safety experts. We also do, in addition to curriculum training, we do research, and I'm going to show you just a little bit about that, and have been funded by California Office of Traffic Safety, for which we're very grateful for the last 20 years, as well as Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, NIH, Safe Streets for All, Caltrans, and others who care about driving safety. So our goal at TREADS is to eliminate injuries and deaths from crashes. We don't call them accidents because they're just like other public health problems, very predictable with antecedents like other public health outcomes. And our goal really is zero fatalities.
Like Linda said, I'm a former California Highway Patrol officer, public information officer. Did that for several years and over just under 24 years. And the best part about it was the relationship we had with Freds. And I kind of came in 2013 as the public information officer as we were developing this program, Just Drive.
We're here today talking about our partnership with the CHP. And we've, for a long time, known that we share a common goal, and that's to conduct interventions to reduce crash-related injuries and deaths. And some of the interventions of law enforcement are a little different than the interventions that I do, but I think that enforcement is a really important part of changing driving behavior. I'm going to start with our older driver work. Well, most older drivers are safe drivers. One of the issues is that we come across people who shouldn't be driving as physicians or law enforcement, and training both of those groups as well as the general public and knowing when the limits are. We also worked with the then commissioner of the CHP, Commissioner Farrow, to publish in Police Chief Magazine to highlight this collaboration and also to highlight the fact that this training was available. We make all of our curriculum available for free to anybody across the country, though the California Office of Traffic Safety is California specific, but we work with agencies across the country to make it more specific for their jurisdiction. Just in the last 11 years, we've trained more than 17,000 people through this program, through this Train the Trainer program.
2013 is when we began the program. Myself and Skip Carter, who was a former deputy commissioner of the Highway Patrol, began presenting this Just Drive course, and obviously it advanced throughout the years. 2016, we adopted a first responder. We'll talk about that as well. And then in 2017, converted into a commercial. We talk about the three different types of distraction, the visual, the manual, and the cognitive. And this kind of gave me an understanding of why people didn't see me and how distracted they were when they were on the phone. Texting involves all three of these, and which makes it that much more dangerous than just talking on the phone. And we'll go over that a little bit too. This is one of the videos that TREADS developed to kind of show modeling or give examples of how to model driving behavior.
Familiarize yourself with the route and secure your phone.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's go.
Hey, so what are we doing later?
Well, finish your call first. I want to get there, but I want to get there in one piece.
Sorry, I wasn't thinking. I gotta go. I'll call you later.
Don't be afraid to speak up. Be assertive. Protect yourself.
We are going to be so late. Will you call Mom?
Sure, you just drive.
2013 is when I started, and so it kind of this is where we took off. TREADS had I guess I had an introduction when I took the older driver course through our post training, and that was the first time I really got to meet everybody there at TREADS. 2013 is when we started developing major programs for traffic safety, and then we have our pedestrian safety talking about pedestrians. In 2015, with the CHP and San Diego PD, helped develop this program with treads. The program was piloted in the San Diego area in 2015, and it just aimed to educate pedestrians, improving their knowledge on how to safely walk. And then our impaired driving, again, a huge problem here in California. One program, Steer Clear, was developed to help advance the knowledge to teenagers specifically. Higher education, no pun intended, was developed in 2018 to help adults understand the potency and the dangers of using marijuana while driving. And then in 2023, Just Drive deliver drug-free to the commercial drivers.
Our outcomes have been that many officers have been trained in to deliver the curriculum, and these officers in turn have provided education to tens of thousands of participants. I have found the university to be incredibly supportive of my spending most of my time in the community. As a clinician, they haven't forced me to see patients only at UCSD. So for 45 years, I've had a practice in a community health center, and then they've allowed me to do this work. So I just, I'm very grateful to where I am. And I hope that your universities are as well.
Enjoyed all of my time with the CHP, but the last 10 years was probably the most beneficial to me because of a lot of that work was done with treads, but just being out in the public and informing people of driving safety was important, and important information, because on the CHP side, we see the tragic end to a lot of these unfortunate situations. So educating and again, finding that partner has been great.
We learned that law enforcement and public health have shared goals, and based on our mutual respect for what each of us brought to the table, we were able to contribute to curriculum development right from the beginning. Even like, what are the ideas? I would never have come up with that the police officers wanted their own program on distracted driving. They were the ones that came to us and said, this is a problem for us too. Could you help us with this? Similarly, the older driver training for law enforcement. When we did focus groups with officers, they said this is a really difficult traffic stop for us. So we get our ideas, and then we work together to develop the material.
For me, it was ironic that people didn't see my black and white patrol car on the freeway. I didn't know why until I started working with treads, and Linda's definitely a smart lady, and kind of filled me in on what was happening in their brains that didn't allow them to see a black and white cruiser, because everybody who's not distracted definitely sees our black and white cruisers out there.
Work together as a team right from the beginning. As I said, sometimes we identify the problem through our research, but often it's our community of law enforcement who identify the problem themselves. And once we start working on a topic, we bring law enforcement into our team. So um, uh, Jake knows that once we're working with somebody, we never let go of them.
Finding that right individual, I would say, from the university level, when you're reaching out to some of these law enforcement agencies, finding the right person, I think, is a huge part of that. Like Linda said, we've had this relationship for a long time, and we were able to maintain that relationship because we both benefited each other. And I think that's the best way of continuing a good, healthy relationship with law enforcement and universities. is finding that right individual that is passionate about the same information that's being disseminated to the public.
Jake and I have actually had a really long spell with our respective jobs. So maybe less turnover than one would expect. And certainly in our TREADS group, we have been able to train the next generation of public health law enforcement professionals. I'd say in CHP, that we've been through a lot of commissioners, right, Jake? But
Commissioners and chiefs, yeah.
yeah, commissioners and chiefs, but each time we've been able to reach out to meet the new folks. They've been really supportive of what we've done together, and they've been interested in continuing the partnership. Important public health issues of our time include, it certainly includes traffic crashes, but also gun violence. These are really complex problems, and we need to be talking in multidisciplinary groups to solve these problems. And this is just one example of how to do that, but we're going to have to work together to really get to a better place soon.